is leading. Here at Phoenix, Ernie Irvan is reeling him back in. Glenn?
Standing by with crew chief Larry McReynolds. Larry, we speculated Ernie might have gotten the tires hot when he got under Mark there. Does he have anything left for him?
Well, I don't know. You know, if you ever get these tires good and hot, it's hard to get them to come back, you know, once you abuse them. And I don't know. We got a feeling a while ago that maybe Mark was on 7 cylinders, but it don't look like it right now. But sometimes when this place gets slick, 7 cylinders actually help you.
Well, we were told that he does have a broken valve spring, and Steve Bill said the very same thing you did. It doesn't really hurt him.
Well, we just have to see what happens. We're getting down to about 10 to go, running out of time.
I think Larry might have been listening to Neil Bonnet. That's how he figured all that out. But that team, that 28 team's had a lot of success here.
Like they've won that 28 team has won the last 2 races at this racetrack. So they know what it takes. And I'm not so sure this thing's over. That 28's pulling back up there some.
Yep. Davey Allison, the last Winston Cup driver to go to victory lane here at Phoenix. Only 4 drivers have won in the last 14 races. They've won all but 6 this year. Wallace, Martin, Earnhardt, and Irvan. 11 laps to go.
Boy, I know they wouldn't just say that car was on 7 cylinders just for the fun of it. It is after running this thing on 7 cylinders I've ever seen.
I'll tell you what, I was
pulling away from cars down the straightaway.
Buddy, I was up at Wilkesboro one time. That's a real slick racetrack when I was driving for Junior, Darrell and I. And Darrell dropped the cylinder and just started driving away. The next time I pitted, they reached around and pulled a plug wire off my motor.
No.
I'm just telling you, that thing would get slick like that up here. And I was sitting there spinning the wheels, and they gave me a try with 7 of them.
Well, here's Junior's car, Bill Elliott. It's on 8 cylinders, and it's battling Dale Earnhardt for 4th place. 11 cars on the lead lap. If Earnhardt stays in 4th, he goes to Atlanta 126 ahead of Rusty Wallace.
Well, the lap before, we were watching this 3 car, that sideways coming up off this corner. They still got that thing out of left field on the chassis like they want to be.
Now, what does that mean? 124 points? Earnhardt would have to finish 34th or better at Atlanta to wrap up his 6th championship, no matter what Rusty does. Mark Martin laps past Bobby Hillin.
Man, out there in the gray stuff.
Let's check with Ralph.
Steve, we're hearing all sorts of things about you maybe being down with a broken valve spring. Any other problems with the car?
About 15 laps ago, Mark hollered he thought he broke a valve spring. And Ernie jumped up alongside us, but Marcus figured out a way to run the car hard. You know, a lot of times the racetrack gets slick, you're better off with less horsepower. We're not sure we broke a spring, but if we have, it doesn't seem to hurt us a whole lot. Ernie's awful tough. I wish this thing was over.
You said you figured a way for him to run hard. What did you figure out? What's he doing different?
Mark, I guess he just runs harder in the corner. You know, he thought it broke going in the corner, and he lifted early, realized he could run harder through the corner if indeed he did break a valve spring. So I'm sure he's running his guts out right now. He told me not to talk to him, so he's probably trying pretty hard.
He's trying hard right now. It's all he can do to stay in front of Ernie Irvan.
28's trying pretty hard, too. It's going to come down to it right here at the end.
It looks like Mark's keeping the car up high. And, Neil, do you not lose as much RPM when you run that higher line?
Mike, exactly. If he's losing, has to bog it down, he doesn't have that power, he's flying through the outside the corner.
And the other thing, when you get back in the throttle, you get back in it quicker, and you stay in it wide open all the way through the corner. And with the full power, and you spin the wheels coming up out of the corner.
Slip and slide for 6th spot here. Ricky Rudd trying to hold on. Darrell Waltrip. That is for 6th. That's about a straightaway behind the leaders. Now the leaders are coming up into traffic as you watch Earnhardt and Bill Elliott for 4th place. Mark Martin in about another 3 laps will be on race traffic. There are 5 laps to go.
Boy, now you talk about critical. If he's down on power a little bit, he can't afford to get out of the gas and wait on anybody. He's got to keep it wound up, so he doesn't need to have to deal with these guys slowing him down.
Neil, that's the biggest thing. If he has to get out of the throttle, it'll take him a half a lap to get back up on the pipes good.
Passing flag will be out on Kenny Wallace and Jimmy Spencer. And here comes Mark Martin to try to lap them with 4 laps to go. Spencer goes way over. He says, I don't want any part of this. I'm not racing for the win or for position. You guys get on and go with it.
Boy, that's a nice gesture there.
You know that's appreciated.
You think that might have anything to do with that being a Ford? Ford's checking out?
Well,
that's good courtesy. I tell you, Spencer did a good job there. I'm telling you, when you see that coming somewhere down the road, those guys will pay you back. And if you abuse it, they'll pay you back the other way. Good move by Spencer.
And a word to one man who's had a lot to do with Ford's Winston Cup success of late. Michael Tranopus, the worldwide head of racing of motorsports for Ford, retires tomorrow. Looks like he may get a nice little send-off gift with the victory here.
See Kenny Wallace just in front of the 6 car there now. If he don't get out of the way, he's going to have to get off the 6 car just a little bit.
They lap past Chuck Bound in the 39. And as they come around, maybe 2.
The Mark is going to need to clear this 40 car and not have to follow him through the corner here.
Pins and needles time.
Tell you the thing about Kenny, he's running about as well as Mark is right now.
He's 17th. Only a lap down. He's had a pretty good day here.
They'll be coming around for 1 to go. Mark's not going to have to deal with this car right here. He needs to get right on around him if he can.
White flag will be in the air. Passing flag at work. Wallace drops way to the low side. Mark will clear him, and that also sets a pick on Ernie Irvin. Where's Irvin going to go? No place. He can't. Kenny Wallace is there.
Kenny stayed out of the way of both cars. Let him race for it.
Irvin will have one more chance at Mark Martin. He is 3 car lengths back as they enter the final turn of the last lap here at Phoenix. Irvin looks to the bottom. Martin takes it up high, and Mark Martin will go to victory lane. The Slick 5500, 12th career victory, 5th of the season. Dale Earnhardt holds off Bill Elliott, and Ricky Rudd finishes just in front of Darrell Waltrip. Larry McReynolds and Steve Meal, rival crew chiefs, saluting one another. Earnhardt coming around needs to finish only 34th or better at Atlanta to win his 6th Winston Cup championship, even if Rusty wins the race and leads the most laps. So you're riding with the winner on TNN. Mark Martin waits to make the turn, and now heads toward victory lane.
Yeah, Mark asked him where victory lane is. He'll know after this.
Rusty Wallace, 19th place today, 2 laps down after a broken sway bar mount on the right front.
Mike, I tell you what, Mark Martin is really getting impressive as a driver. A good car, he's good. When he has a little bit of problem, he still carries the car along. Really coming around and winning a lot of races.
And once again, TNN's proud to bring you a ride with the winner.
Boy, look
Mark
at that
Martin.
happy face.
Well, he still looks pretty intense, but he looks pretty happy, too.
Good job for Mark.
He led 264 of the 312 laps today. And Ford takes the lead in the manufacturer's standings. Ernie Irvin finishes 2nd. Kyle Petty 3rd for Pontiac. Dale Earnhardt is 4th. And Bill Elliott winds up 5th today. We'll be right back to talk to the winner. Ricky Rudd is 6th. Darrell Waltrip 7th. Bobby Labonte, the highest finishing rookie, in 8th. Mike Waltrip 9th, and Rick Mast 10th ahead of Morgan Shepherd. We'll be right back. Exclusive live coverage of the Slick 5500 on the National Network has been brought to you by Haviland, Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. And by Ford and your Ford truck dealer. Ford Trucks, the best never rest.
Mark Martin and I continue our newfound friendship, meeting in victory lane every week. Mark, great job. You had a problem there at the end, but you were able to figure out a way around that racetrack. Didn't slow you down.
Well, we just held on and ran high and kept the momentum up. I think we maybe broke a couple of valve springs or something, and the thing kind of started getting soft up in the top RPM range. But, you know, Ernie was tough. He ran me hard. He ran me clean. It was a great race. And Steve Meal and that Roush team made the difference today. I couldn't have done it without them cranking out those great pit stops and making the great calls.
Well, you made some adjustments on the car all day, and really going into the race this morning, Steve told me you really weren't that excited about your chances.
We had no idea how the car was going to work, and I guess being blind is just about as good as coming and testing. You know, we didn't have a chance to mess the car up today, so it worked well. We put a round in and a couple rounds out. You know, it's just right there. It worked good, but like I say, the race team made the difference today, not the car.
Well, I think the driver had something to do with that. Congratulations to Mark, Jack Rouse, and Steve Mill, everybody at Rouse Racing. Ralph?
New daughter Jordan joining her father down here by their trailer. Was it the tires that kept you from getting Mark?
No, it was that Mark Martin was keeping me from getting Mark. You know, Mark drove a heck of a race. You know, he just you know, drove the wheels off. I drove the wheels off ours, and it was just a little short. So, you know, it was a good run for the Texaco Havoline Ford Thunderbird, and you know, guys did a great job in the pits, and it was just a little short. You know, we'd like to have some more laps to try to get it, but the race is what it is, and hats off to Mark.
Ernie Irvin. Irvin, 7th in the Winston Cup points after today. There's Earnhardt, 126 ahead of Rusty Wallace. Mark Martin, highest he can finish in the points is 3rd now. Dale Jarrett, best he can do is 4th. Morgan Shepherd up to 5th. Kyle Petty, Ernie Irvin, Ken Schrader, Bill Elliott, Ricky Rudd. That's your top 10 in the Winston Cup standings. Brought to you by Craftsman Tools, a line of 1,600 hand tools, made in America, guaranteed forever. Today's order of finish. Mark Martin, the winner. Ernie Irvin, 2nd. Kyle Petty, 3rd. Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott, the top 5. Ricky Rudd was 6th. Darrell Waltrip, 7th. Bobby Labonte, 8th. Mike Waltrip and Rick Mast, the top 10. Then Morgan Shepherd, 11th. Harry Gant, Lake Speed, Terry Labonte, and Ted Musgrave. Dale Jarrett, Kenny Wallace, Bobby Hillen, Rusty Wallace, and Rick Wilson were the top 20 today. For Buddy Baker, Neil Bonnet, Glenn Jarrett, and Ralph Shaheen, I'm Mike Joy, congratulating Mark Martin on his victory here in Phoenix. We'll talk to you next week from Hickory, North Carolina, and the final Busch short track race of the season. All of us at TNN have enjoyed putting Winston Cup racing live on television for your enjoyment all season long. So long from Phoenix, everybody.
Music City Tonight, TNN Weeknight.